It's getting almost winter time now, and the temperatures at night are getting down into the 50s. So I want to try to get some of this concrete done before it gets too cold. So this is going to be the first one I'm trying to do. This is a lip here. It's a good ½ inch or an inch higher. So we'll see if we can repair that. And then over here I've got a crack I want to try to work on. And then now this stuff, you can see this has already been repaired, and that's lasted not through a winter yet, but it's not too bad. We'll see how it makes it through this winter. A couple more spots here. I may work on this crack, I don't know, depending on how much time I have. And then over here we've got some more cracks here. We'll see if we can work on. So the first thing is let's peel this loose stuff up, and then we'll mix up some cement. Now we'll vacuum up all the loose pieces. Let's see if we can get some of this cement out of this plastic water jug which I stored in. Try to keep the moisture out. I don't want to mix up too much at a time. We'll see if we can get this started and go from there. See if we can get some water and mix this up. My plan first is to try to get some down in the crack, even though when this is all done and dried, we'll try to cut the slot in it again, and then build up from the crack. This is the second batch of mixed up cement. I'm having trouble estimating how much concrete I need, so we'll try get some more. Alright, let's see if we got enough to finish this now. Let's see if we can feather the edges. I use a old junky sponge with a bunch of water on it. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, I'm going to try to do these in order of importance, and I think the next one is to get this crack, so I'll start working on that now. I did forget to mention that a couple days ago, or within the last week, I did pressure wash this whole surface. So it should be fairly clean. The stuff that I'm taking up here is actually part of the old skim coat, which was, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years old. The same people that put the new garage floor over the concrete, some kind of a vinyl mixture, polyurethane, whatever, did the skim coat, but I didn't think the skim coat would work, and it's sort of proven me to be correct. One of the things I like doing is getting this wet first. I don't know if that helps the concrete adhere to it or not, but it's something I always did. Again, I'm going to fill in the crack and then I'll cut it out with the saw later. Yeah, this is really wearing on my back. I'm pretty whipped already, but we'll see if we can get down to the end of this crack, and then we'll move on to something with less bending over. Well, I'm just about out of energy with my back, getting kind of sore. I actually broke my back in high school trying to barefoot water ski, and then re-injured it on a dirt bike in college. So it's fine for a while, but then it gets sore. So I'm going to try to finish up the concrete cement that I've already have mixed up on a couple patches here, and then we'll be done. Alright, that's a wrap for this old guy on the bending over stuff. I'm going to switch over and do some tilling where I can stand up. So bending over on the driveway concrete project kind of tired my back out pretty quickly. So I'm going to try tilling this small pond here that feeds into my larger pond. The goal is to get the bottom smooth enough that I can put another sheet of plastic in here that I'm actually going to cut off of the excess on the large pond. The goal is to make this more bowl-shaped with smooth edges, so when the plastic lays on it, it doesn't have any sharp creases. Again, it's not going to be a whole lot, maybe up to the bottom of the overflow pipe, and then back up to maybe here. So, you know, whatever that is, 6 by 10 foot or whatever sheet of plastic we'll put in there. And then maybe the deer will come over here and drink out of here instead of trying to climb down the steep sides on that pond over there. Again, just something to keep me busy and use up excess plastic that we're going to cut off of that. So we'll see how this works. So I see where the dock is bending down and back up, so I'm going to put some more boards underneath these legs here. So today I want to trim this plastic back. When we first put it in, we put the whole sheet in, which was 20 feet by 50 feet, with the idea that once the pool or the pond filled up with enough water that it pulled it tight. You can see the water's pretty full here. So now we have a general idea on how much slack we need, so we're going to cut off the excess in here and then we'll use it in the small pond. Now back to fixing the sag on the dock. With this, it's not going to do it. Well, that one for each side. Take the big one out. Put the skinny board in. We decided to switch out the wood block for a paver. So I want to put a little bit of water in here to hold this so it doesn't blow away. I'm going to get that off of the pool cover. So before I do that, I'll blow this pine straw and leaves out, and then we'll go get the pump to pump off the pool cover. Also, before I do that, I need to take this one root out. So let me go get this set up and then we'll see if we can get that out. I'm going to use my Sawzall, but before I do that I want to clear some of the dirt away. That looks like it's going to be a can of worms, but we'll go give it a shot, do the best we can. See if we can lift the root up a little bit with the shovel here. Alright. Okay, let's see if we can get some water in there before it moves around with the wind. Although there's no wind today. So here's some old hose that I have. It's just about one step from being thrown away, but it doesn't leak, so we'll see if we can get enough to go from the pool to the pond. This is my better hose. We'll put this out of the way. And this is the lesser quality. See how many feet of this we have. This is more better quality hose. This is the other piece. So hopefully between these two pieces we can get something to work here. Let's go check it out. Well, here's my pool. Let's see how far we get. So I think that's going to work. So I'm going to go get my pump and the rest of the materials and we'll see what we got going here. So the green hose on the ground, that'll be my outlet. This black hose is going to be the intake. We're going to be pumping it off the top of the pool cover here. So let's see how this works. So the idea here is if the pool cover gets too full, it just runs out over the side into the yard. So I always try to keep a 2 or 4 inch, maybe 6 inch freeboard, so the water from the range will land in there and not overflow the pool. So the excess I'm just going to put into this the smaller pond. Hopefully, we'll see if this works. Hopefully the load you hear is the working, so we'll go down on the pond side and check it. So a lot of that milky, muddy water was left over from when I pumped the big pond, 6 months ago or whenever we got ready to work with the excavator. Well, while that's happening, I'm going to try to scoop some of the leaves and stuff out of the pool here, or the top of the cover of the pool anyway. Well, we'll go down and see how much water is in the little pond now. Well, that's what the little pond looks like. Hindsight, if I had to do over again, I would make sure I pump that muddy water out into the grass before I put the hose in the pond. But we're already here, so go over and try to get some of the leaves out of the big pond now. Earlier in this video, I talked about cutting a slot into concrete once it dries, so we'll go take a look at that now. I never came back and cut my slot in here after filling in this concrete, so we're going to do that now. I'm going to try to use this board to give me a straight edge to cut off of. So the distance between here and here, here and here, that's about the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take your left foot and step here, face that way, and put your left foot here. Ready?
Yep.
I couldn't figure out why it was slow cutting this time, whereas the first one it was not. You notice the sparks here too. A little more.
So what's the metal from?
Well, there's a metal edge along this concrete. I didn't pick up on that. This pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next videos, I will be installing a security camera on my little shed, putting sand down on the pond beach, and other work around the pond. So what happened there is I'm trying to cut concrete with a masonry bit, and there is a piece of steel along the edge when they poured the driveway. Let's see if I can show it to you right here. At the end of my fingernail, you can see it. So I needed to get the blade more that way to avoid the steel. Okay, I have a new chest mount for my camera, so I'm going to check that out and see how it works. To start with, we'll go out and get the lawnmower and then do some leaves in the front where I actually mulch them up, take them back to the compost pile. So I guess we want to see how much bouncing around this has, and then we'll go from there. Since I cannot see the viewfinder on the camera while it's mounted on my chest, I'm using the remote feature that comes with this camera. You can actually control it from your phone. So I use that to turn it off and on. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a extension cord out here for our Christmas lights, so I'm going to have to go on one side of the wire first. Usually it starts right up, so I guess we're probably out of gas. Hopefully. Well, there is gas in there. This is normal camera speed here. You can see it kind of bounces around a little bit, but not too bad. This is 5 times normal speed. This is 10 times normal speed. Next we'll go get the cart to put the leaves in. Now we'll take the bag off. I can usually get 2 bags into the cart, and then the 3rd bag I put on top, and we head back to the compost pile. For those of you who have seen some of my earlier videos, I pump the water off my pool cover through this hose and back to the compost pile. I did lay a plastic water line here. I just need to finish it up and put you know, a male and female fitting on each end. And then I can get rid of this garden hose here on top of the ground. I have a 3-stage system here. This is all the new stuff, and then what I'll do is I'll till it up from here and put it into that pile, and then I'll take this pile and put it over here, and this is the stuff that's most ready to be used. Usually the whole process takes probably 1.5 years, 2 years. I am using the remote app, so you can actually see. I control it on my phone here, turn it off and on, because I can't see the lens or the viewfinder of the camera. So I'm going to turn this remote feature off, see if I can get on time lapse, and still use the chest camera, but skip over to time-lapse mode and see how that works. This is time-lapse set at 1 second. Here I've taken my editing software and slowed it down 5 times, so you can see that it's awful jerky because of the time-lapse setup. I can see where the chest mount camera can come in handy, but not particularly this application. Probably work better when you're sitting at a workbench working on a project.